we are a very, very small family-run bakery with 4 generations in the village of Cappoquin in West Waterford, Ireland. And we are sitting here in what was our family room as when I was a child growing up, and it was a family room for my father when he was growing up, and he was born in 1904. And it was a family room for the generations before that again. So that is a great memory for me, and I'm very proud that we have lots of respectability still in our local community. We didn't murder anyone, we paid all our bills, and we lived on the values, the Christian values of respect for everybody and to pay our way.
Well, the bakery started in 1887 by my grandfather, who had returned back from New York. His plan in life was not to continue his profession as a trained baker, but to go to New York where there was new opportunities. And his wife's family had a business there, and he got a job there. But sadly, his wife was going with him, but she was with child before he left. And once she had the baby, she decided she was staying in Ireland. So he came back, and they started baking bread on the square in Cappoquin in the current premises. And it's there since 1887, baking bread by the Barron family. Back in the 70s and early 80s, there was what you call a price war with bread. You had a breakthrough in bread making. Bakers got together and put up big factory bakers, and they started making processed bread. That was baked in under 20 minutes. And as a result of that, they used bread as an object to bring people into supermarkets, at bread being half the price. Now it was a different product. And back in the early 80s, people weren't able to differentiate between grilled bread and processed bread. It affected an awful lot of small bakeries. Small bakeries, because the purchasing power of bread went into the supermarket, and they weren't able to survive. So small family businesses like ours all closed in the late 70s, early 80s, because of a whole change in culture about bread. And it was brought on by people who were into making money as opposed to making bread.
So when I start making the sourdough, we use what they call a T65 flour, and I need 850 grams of that. This is 100% Irish flour, and some salt, 10 grams of salt, 13 grams of sugar. And then we mix that up, and we have what we call the raising agent. So this is bicarbonate of soda and cream of tartar, which is the raising agent for our soda bread, whereas it's wild yeast in the sourdough. And you mix that thoroughly with your flour. And then we have 50 grams of margarine, which we rub in. And you make that like breadcrumbs until it becomes like breadcrumbs. They'd bring in 50 kilograms bags of flour. It would be maybe 4 tons of flour in total, however many bags of flour that was. I think it was 20 bags to a ton. And they'd bring all those in, and then they would have a hoist there, and there was a big chain that went around one of the bags, and one man would be here and the other man would be pressing a button, and it would rise up, and he'd pull it in over there, and then the hoist would come down again, and they'd put another bag up, and you know, you saw every 50 kgs of flour go up there, and you see that wooden piece, green wooden piece there, that was a chute, and there was a big bowl under that where they used to open it at night and throw the flour down to bake the bread. That was a mixer underneath it.
Right, actually, you know what?
Ramil hasn't come in, no?
No, just be here to go 4. I know, I can leave that here. I know, I need to.
No, I'll need to push in the thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Right, so this is very high tech.
I'll just set up here for this.
And that takes 20 minutes. That is the chimney of the ovens, the bakery oven, and that whole building with that roof is the bakery, the bakehouse. We call that the bakehouse.
I mean, this is the wonderful thing about the farmers market. It is the comeback to the community, because when you come to the farmers market, they're not rushing. It's a different environment to shopping than anywhere else, and they're supporting the local people who they know live out the road, or a farmer who's growing some vegetables, or a man who has lovely free-range eggs, and they make beautiful things. So people come to support it because they're leaving their money in the area of within their own community. Well, I think the future is that a new generation comes along, and that has started in the coffee shop. You've Emma and Aoife after taking over the coffee shop, and I hope that that will be a very successful story because they have children coming on. So let's hope and pray that that's what will be. That is the best thing that could have ever happened to me the day they came knocking on the door. And Joe, they came knocking on the door to know could they take that over.